Welcome to MTV Cribs. Welcome to my crib. Come on.
Cribs.
Not really, but today I want to share a little bit about what happened during our home buying process.
Must have bought a house.
How it happened really fast.
So fast.
And even when real estate was actually closed here in Pennsylvania.
We're not allowed to open it.
That means we couldn't even walk into the house we had made an offer on.
What?
Think about that for a second. We made the largest purchase of our lifetime without setting foot in it.
Crazy.
Today I actually want to share a couple things that were involved with buying a house that you might not always be aware of, share some things that I would have actually done a little bit differently, and just give you a glimpse into some of the renovating or changes we made after purchasing on a one income, one teacher salary plus some side hustles, as well as some of the things we want to do when the funds are available. So the home buying process was definitely a crazy time in our lives, but really one we're glad we made, given that home prices are skyrocketing and interest rates are on the rise.
Too expensive!
Oftentimes we think what life would be like if we would not have did what we did toward the beginning of the pandemic, when people were really confused about what the future presented. And so at that point, things were more stagnant. People were cautious about just life in general, even though I felt like we may have overpaid for the house that we actually did buy. I definitely know now that we didn't, obviously, given that what I've seen Zestimates come to on Zillow. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's say back to when the pandemic first started. We had one kid and one on the way, due in November of 2020. At the time we were living in a 2-bedroom, 1,100 square foot apartment or condo. It was doable, but we knew we needed more space when the second kid was to come along. We were always looking at places, toured a few actually prior to COVID restrictions closing real estate down, but never pulled the trigger since we never left feeling comfortable with the financial situation that we were in. Now you have to consider the fact that my mortgage and taxes were less than $500 a month in the condo that we'd been living in. So needless to say, life financially was pretty manageable on one income.
It used to be simple.
Then one day we drove through this neighborhood in really the general area we had been looking for to find a house, because we actually spotted this house on Zillow, and it had just come back on the market. Now, granted, it had way too many plants and shrubbery than I had ever planned to ever maintain, but I could see past that.
How they go past that?
There actually happened to be a squirrel in the yard and one in the tree, and this house quickly became known as the squirrel house, as my daughter called it. So who could say no to that? We liked the exterior of the property. After going on Zillow and not loving the stained carpet, the lighting, the paint jobs, but loving the open layout, the deck, the fireplace, and certain upgrades that the homeowners put a lot of money into, we decided to make an offer without even stepping foot into the place.
Seriously?
A little note and a close to asking offer actually sealed the deal. Now we had to make decisions about our condo, which I really did love so much and would have loved to really have kept it to be a rental for us. But I knew I wanted to put 20% or more down. And before you say, Sean, you don't need 20%, I'm gonna tell you why I think it actually is important, especially for me and my family. Decided to bring it on down here to the basement. As you can see, home ownership. Here's what just happened, pipe burst. Awesome. That's for another video. But anyway, back to talking about that 20%. First, in order to get a house, with 3 bedrooms or more, you have to pay around here at minimum $250,000, which is a lot better than other parts of the country. But now it's more like $300,000. Also, second, I needed to keep my mortgage payment, that is, under $1,400 or less for me to really be comfortable with our budget. I also didn't want any PMI, and although you don't need 20% these days, you used to need 20%. It's just something I like. I also don't really want to be a slave to my house, and knocking out 20% just feels so much better about our future. It just gives me that feeling. I did elect for a 30-year mortgage, but am hoping to not have a mortgage before the age of 50. I'll let you do the math on that and try to figure out my age. Lastly, I just strictly believe there's something about saving 20% that shows that you are serious, okay? That you're serious about saving money and will have the maturity and be able to handle a mortgage. After all, it is a lot of money. Also, just want to make sure you know and remember, you don't have to just save the percentage you want to have. You have closing costs and lots of other fees that I'm not going to go into in this video because I will just end up getting frustrated because it amounts to a lot of money.
You keep saying that.
I did also just want to remember or make sure I made note of it that having a real estate agent in your corner to really explain each of those fees and what to expect well before you get to closing is extremely helpful. And I know several that I would be willing to share with you if you'd ever want a recommendation. Now back to our 1,100 square foot condo. We sold it to a cash buying investor who ended up renting it out for $1,200 a month. I don't like talking about it because I still can't stop thinking about how much I wish that was still our rental.
Wishful thinking.
But anyway, we sold our place in June. Our generous friends allowed us to store most of our belongings in their basement for about a month while we spent the month homeless, temporarily of course. Oh, in Florida, forgot to mention that. The month passed and it was now time to close on our new house, so we ended up flying back, stayed at another generous friend's house for the night and finished the deal.
Well, that's very generous.
Now, I'll do another video in the future going over the specifics of the deal, but we did buy this property for $285,000. One other thing I did want to mention is that we did make the offer contingent that we actually liked the place when we did our walkthrough. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that we walked through the place, before actually finalizing the deal. Just trying to be fully transparent. All right, so now let's talk about some projects we've completed so far.
Future projects and past projects.
We completely changed most of the flooring throughout the entire house. I was able to save money by doing a good portion by myself. The basement floor and steps got a makeover. I put in floating bamboo throughout almost the entire main level of the house after ripping out stained green carpet and newer kitchen laminate that really just wasn't our style. And finally, I had the green stained carpet on the stairs and upstairs replaced by professionals.
Need help. A professional.
We painted almost all of the walls ourselves. Believe it or not, I actually do love to paint and have a few friends and family members that helped along the way to make the process a lot smoother. We changed out the door handles and locks throughout the house, got new countertops. That was quite the ordeal. Drop a comment if you want to know what material it is. We also painted the fireplace. Well, my wife did. Got to give credit where credit is deserved, and finished by replacing a few chandeliers. Then there's the outside landscaping, which we completely revamped, even though we had a lot more to go. We put on a post on Facebook asking if there are any plant people who want to come out and dig certain plants.
Yeah, I love plants.
Actually, to our surprise, we had a ton of random people digging out plants that maybe we could have charged for. Oh well. My dad and father-in-law helped as well, and before we knew it, our landscaping had a lot less green things growing in it, which we think made the house look a lot less busy. Now to what we still want to do in regards to projects. We don't quite have enough saved up for yet, but we were hoping to save up for. Renovations, you gotta love them. So I'm just gonna first talk about upstairs. It's a work in process.
It's a work in progress.
For the most part, but we just want to update it. So we are going to get a double sink vanity and replace the floor in our upstairs guest bathroom. Our master bathroom actually needs a lot of work. So that's something we will probably get a pro in here to complete, not something I'm willing to take on myself. we're considering taking out a closet and just a complete gut job. That is definitely part of the process.
Trust the process.
Moving downstairs, we would like to get some new appliances. That's down the road. The new ones, or the ones that we have now, are actually new. They're not old, just love stainless steel a lot more than the white. The only other thing on the main floor to change is our chandelier in our dining room, and just get some things set up on the walls to go with our new custom-made walnut table, Sawdust Garage, shout out. There's a great YouTube channel in the works that made the table, and that's what I'm talking about. I'll leave a link above so you can get subscribed before the first video drops. Moving out to the garage, we want to resurface the floor and get rid of and add new cabinets. It's actually in the process right now. Just got the new cabinets ordered in. Got a whole new work table coming in. We'll hopefully document that whole process. Outside, you know, we grew a ton of grass in areas that had shrubs and other plants, as I've mentioned. I mean, the outside of our house has really changed, especially since we painted the shutters black, as well as added some curb appeal with the fake garage windows. Forgot to mention earlier that we trimmed our trees and took down part of the fence on the deck to put a lower fence so we could actually see out. Now that we did that, we want to add a patio off the side, so I will be taking these bushes out for that to happen, and also taking those bushes out and putting the fence we took down and putting it over there to cover up where our trash can will sit. All right, so what do you guys think? We just covered a ton of things about our house. What do you want to know more of? What do you think we should go further in depth about? Please drop a comment below so we can prepare some future content and replace the things you want with what you want to hear more about. I hope you enjoyed the tour and just sort of enjoyed hearing our story. Don't forget to subscribe for more personal finance everyone understands. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.